Good morning, world. How are you?
I'm good. I can see that John has just arrived. I'm just waiting for his camera feed to come through, and then we'll be good to go. And yes, John is here with the fish. Morning, John.
Good morning.
Right. Okay. Now, what I've said is that Stephen Silk is taking a break, and we look forward to his return. But in the meantime, it means we have a spare seat. Now, we can do many things with a spare seat, but what we're going to do today is to share news stories from our part of the world. And the first newspaper we have today is Peter's newspaper. And have you picked a story out, Peter? And
Yeah, I've picked a related story to talk about, and it's this one here, where I'm at. So am I already sharing?
it should be in a second. It's right. Okay. I'll say good morning to Tish. We're experimenting, Tish. And hello. Right. Can you screen share again, Peter? I've heard do it again.
Here we go. Peter,
Okay.
I've removed hosts. Right, wait a minute.
Yep. Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, we missed you too. It's good to have you back watching live. And we're just
Right,
trying.
that working.
I'm looking for it.
Wait a minute.
All right. Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
Share.
I'll say good morning to Chris, who is saying hello, Stephen, John, and Peter. And good morning, John. How are you today?
I'm okay. A little bit late because blooming phone rang just as I was about to click the button.
Right. And we've got it. Right. Okay, Peter, the story is yours.
So this is 72 students self-isolating after a COVID-19 outbreak in Aberdeen. If it wasn't bad enough in this area, and it looks as though we're going to get further lockdowns, which we have done in the city. But all these students coming from different parts of the country, maybe even different countries, it's going to be a big problem. Can you really make students self-isolate? Seemingly that the police have had to go down for parties that they're having down there because they're not isolating. But it may turn out they may all get COVID-19 and just say, let's have a big party. We've got it anyway, because I've seen that happen in the States too. So it is, it's very, very, very difficult. And you will never stop students doing what they want to do. So that's a big concern for us here.
It's Freshers Week, and the Freshers Week is when everybody gets together, and they've not got that. It's tradition, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So that is the problem we've got here, and I would actually say up here we're at breaking point regard to the 10 o'clock closing.
Excuse me.
I went last week into nice call with us, yeah. I went into the city last week, and it's just a disaster. And you know, it's a disaster that's been put on hold as far as I'm concerned, because as soon as the furlough payments stop, we're in trouble, because the employers will not have the money to pay people, and that's what's happening in Aberdeen. So we're still a city of gloom. In fact, Scotland's the same now. And all I'm going to say on the case of Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland and England isn't it about time we had one national UK policy to deal with COVID? There are too many rules for different people. What if somebody comes into England from Scotland? What if somebody from Scotland goes down to England? It's got to be one, or you're just on a hiding to nothing as far as I'm concerned.
That's total common sense, Peter. And I can give you, for instance, on that. Angelica and I and her son and daughter and their partners are all due to go on holiday in Wales at the Brecon Beacons on November 5th. Except Wales has put a sign up saying, if you're from England, don't visit. You know, and it's, I mean, that's a UK holiday break. You don't know where you are in the UK now. And as you said, we're going from one area of the UK to another, and the rules are different.
Yeah.
I mean, in the UK, 6 people can get together, and children can't, if children are counted as being part of the 6. Whereas in Scotland, that's not true, is it?
12-year-olds can meet and play and everything in Scotland, up to 12.
Yeah.
Meet outside and play with their friends and run into their gran and say, hi, Granny. But if they're looking after them, for instance, because that kid might have it, who passes it to another kid, who passes it on to an adult.
Yeah.
Then your local friendly undertakers to get a call. Hello.
The theory is that under 12s are not affected. That's the Scottish theory.
Does anybody think we should go back for 3 weeks to stay home? Back to where we were in March, where we stayed home?
I mean, basically, it didn't dramatically affect me because I work from home. So when we were locked down, proper lockdown, I went to the shops and that was about it. Oh, and I did go to the allotment as well because that's open air. But I'm not sure that enough people are prepared to observe it.
No, that's the problem.
I was in Lidl earlier in the week, and there were 3 young ladies, all Asian, behind me in their early 20s. Very pleasant, nice young ladies. I'm wearing a mask and they're not. Yeah. And we have a conversation about masks. And they say they're not wearing a mask because their God will look after them. Right.
Okay. That's very difficult. I see where this is going to go, right? The authorities have got to give the police the correct procedures that's going to be used. They've got to get things sorted out. The fines are big, so that's maybe not the right thing. So
the fine's doubled, hasn't it? It's £200 from today in the UK. Well, sorry, in England.
Yeah, the likes of the 10,000. Simple as this. Police, how's your rules? So, shopkeeper, I'm not letting you in. I'm exempt. Can you prove you're exempt? No. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not letting you into the shop for your sake and my sake and the customer's sake. So go away and get somebody. No, I've got a right. If you don't go, I'm getting the police. Please come along. Please move on or wear a mask or get somebody to do your shopping. No, and you've no right to do it to me. Policeman, here's a fine. Here's an arrest because you're pushing me. Arrested, £500 fine. Wow. Next. And let them down and say, do you want to be next? Get them lined up.
Asda have declared that you cannot go into their stores without a mask from today.
Good.
And they are going to police it at the entrance.
Good.
I think we're all agreed that people have got to wear masks. I mean, shopkeepers have got to wear masks now.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. I'm not sure in Scotland, but I know in England.
Yeah.
And this is the confusion. Every time we watch the Prime Minister, I say to Sheila, forget what he's saying. We'll have to wait until Nicola Sturgeon comes on and tell us what we've got to do. It's a fact.
But can you see Nicola Sturgeon agreeing to have one person say everything, i.e. the Prime Minister? She won't. Gosh, that's giving control to the English.
I think common sense will. Well,
common sense won't rule.
Okay, let's go to Chris.
Politics will rule.
I hope not that we have a new lockdown, but when our ministers do not take their responsibility, we'll have a new lockdown in Belgium. Yeah, I mean, it's not. This is a global situation. But you've got the thing is, if the rules are consistent and we can understand them, then we'd be less likely to transgress.
Absolutely.
If you go to a pub, you've got to sit down at a table. If you can't find a table to sit down at, you can't get served.
Yeah.
The tables have got to be so far apart so that the number of people who can fit into a pub has gone down. The other thing is, if you go to McDonald's, you can queue.
They won't let you queue in our McDonald's. Inside, you have to queue. Outside at our McDonald's.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where the queue is. There is a queue.
But the argument is they're in the fresh air, and there are metre and a bit. They're not 2 meters, but they're more than a metre marks for the queue.
Yeah, the fresh air is great when it's summer, but when it's
the thing about McDonald's,
give it a fortnight, and it'll be nobody will want to queue outside.
Correct. Yeah.
I've used McDonald's quite a lot, unfortunately, just recently. Shouldn't, naughty boy. But they've actually done, for the youngsters that are running McDonald's, they've absolutely done quite well. I've visited 3 in the area, and they've done very well. They've been very polite. I haven't seen anyone argue with them, and everybody's like keeping the 2 meters. And these people, so well done, McDonald's. The people in my area have bent over backwards to get your product out the door in a very safe manner. Now, yesterday I was at McDonald's, they're really busy, and they were actually coming up with bags and delivering them to the cars, quite a bit away from McDonald's. And I'll tell you what else I've seen which surprised me. They've got a guy with a big pick-me-up litter thing walking about, but he wasn't just picking the litter off the ground, and that wasn't a lot, but he was actually taking the McDonald's litter from the Aberdeen City bins, putting his hand in, taking them out, and taking them back to McDonald's bins.
Which is responsible, socially responsible.
Don't get a freebie.
Yeah.
Right.
We still have the problem at the McDonald's by me of people queuing in cars to get in, and the road being totally flipping blocked in both directions.
Well, what they should do is set up a temporary camera by the police, and £60 fine if you stay longer than 2 minutes behind here. If there's a queue past here, 60 quid.
Well, McDonald's have put a no right turn in so that you can only turn in from, when you're going in the one direction, but everybody's ignoring it.
Yeah.
Because, of course, it's unenforceable because it's only McDonald's own sign.
And that's what's happening in our life. Law and order. That's what we need. Oh, incidentally, do you notice my back screen?
Yes, I was going to ask you about the photograph behind you, Peter.
Well, that's him with the tosh.
With a moustache. You see me?
Well, in a second.
Aye.
Are you putting it up? So that's me. No, that's me. As a 19-year-old man, would you believe? Look at me. And that guy there, he stays down in Englandshire. He's from Edinburgh. Davy Young went on to serve in the Gulf War, became a sergeant major. But what I was always remembered Davy for was a breakfast in bed. So as you can see the tank, chieftain tank, at the side of it, we would make a tent attached to the tank. And it was the radio operator's job in the early hours of the morning before daybreak to make the breakfast. That was part of your duty for the rest of the crew. And he came in and woke us up and gave me the most burned breakfast ever. And I says, "What's happened to my breakfast?" He said it was raining. And I've never let him forget it. And he stays down your area, I think, yeah, Stephen. And that is looking back, that was one of the best times in my life. So I actually served inside that tank, firing the gun, or at the top right-hand hatch where it was the radio operator. And I always look back on that picture fine, muscular-looking man that I was. I'm thinner now. And that's me.
Brilliant. And Tish is saying she likes your picture this morning as well, John. So there you are.
It's off Unsplash.
Yeah.
Okay. So I suppose as we're underway, we can do sort of just rush through this.
Can you drop me for a moment? Front door. And I'm the only one here.
It's just you and me, Peter. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so welcome to the show. We should have done this earlier. This is, in fact, episode 245. We are 5 weeks away from 250 and 15 weeks away from 5 years, which is quite amazing. So we're going to definitely have 2 celebrations coming up before the end of the year. I think, yeah, just about. Right, okay. Now, first national news of the day is that the Chancellor in the UK, in England, is going to reveal what's going to happen with the jobs. 3 million people have been on furlough and they've been paid by the government. That's coming to an end. It comes at the end of October and they've not said what will replace it yet. What do you think is going to happen, Peter?
I think we'll have to have soup kitchens.
Yeah, we've now come to the end of the plank, haven't we? Because the furlough's stopping.
Yeah, as I say, I think I told Sheila this morning, the worst is yet to come. Now, I was going to commit to buying 3 brand new vehicles, but the amount of cancellations I've had recently with my business, I ain't doing it. I am committing to nothing at the moment until there's a vaccine or until we're safe and secure and knowing that people are going to get jobs. But the problem is, Sir Keir Starmer was on the other day. Everybody's praising him. But he's yet to tell us what he would do in this situation. Because no matter what you do, I think they're looking at a universal wage, like Germany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what's that done to Germany? Have you any idea?
No. The same sort of principles working in France as well. They're both going down the same route, and the suggestion is that we should do the same. But he's got to do something, because if we jump off the end of the plank, then we're in big trouble, job-wise.
Yeah, what if the government is saying, right, everybody's in a universal wage. Nobody can take people to court just now. Nobody can foreclose on anybody. Nobody can get evicted. You're on hold. What does that do? How do people actually make money? Do they just live off the tax that they're going to get off their universal wage, which is their own money anyway? Somebody's going to have to go out and make profit.
Eventually, yeah.
Somebody's going to have to. See, here's the thing. This is a market economy. Somebody has to go out and make profits in order to pay back to society. Because if you're working for councils and steady Eddie jobs that are jobs for the boys, and you're getting paid by the government, if there's no private industry, you go to soup kitchens. So there's no jobs.
Over to Tish. Tish has pulled me up on something. First of all, Tish uses Unsplash, and it says episode 244 on the.
All right.
But this is episode 245. I did cut and paste from last week's show, and that's why it says 244, because I didn't actually edit it. And I can't edit it once I've done the post, because it will just disappear in a puff of smoke, because the way Facebook have changed things. But I've said a lot about that in recent days. I'm not going to mention it.
You always get somebody that's nothing else to do.
All right. And Tish saying she's still doing, and she's happy with the explanation. That's good. Thank you.
That's the equivalent of Avon, isn't it, Mary Kay?
It is, yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Well, I had to go downstairs to sign for 2 letters.
Right.
From the council, Birmingham City Council. You can just about see the logo.
Right.
To tell me that my plots are going up next year by 46 pence.
Oh,
I'm so
right.
excited. Why did they have to send me a registered post letter?
The cost of the post is greater than the increase, is it not?
Why would they
Probably, yeah.
Especially getting 2 notifications, one for each of your allotments.
Has somebody watched The Handmaid's Tale?
I heard of it. I haven't actually watched it.
We have watched it beginning to end. We've binged in it. And my, it's reflecting on a bit like society is just now, especially in America. The two divides. And it's scary to watch. And the new the woman that they're putting forward for this new judge's position, the Supreme Court or something. Some people are accusing the judge. Yeah, she made The Handmaid's Tale, but she didn't. You know, because the woman's a Catholic, quite strict Catholic, and it's amazing. It's actually scary if it was to come in. You know, very scary.
It's scary enough at the moment anyway. I don't think we've got a situation where we're living through it, making the most of each day, but we're living in unprecedented times. And the first consequence of this is that they're limiting flu jabs.
Oh.
The normal flu jabs have been limited because of high demand, and only those over 65 are guaranteed a jab at the moment, and the rest will be rationed because there's supply and demand. There isn't sufficient supply. That's just a notification.
Because I meant to get the flu jab every year and I don't go for it.
Yeah. Right. We have, at the third attempt, a COVID app. Have you downloaded it yet, John? Are you going to?
Probably not.
Ah, right.
I have downloaded the Scottish one. Why can't I have a national app? For God's sake.
Because you're a nation, so you've got your own national app.
The reason I haven't downloaded it, folks, because I was listening today, even the health secretary has admitted today, there are too many false positives.
Yeah, but it is a step forward. But the major reason I'm getting it is that, and it should be downloading now, is that the primary purpose is that it will register for 2 weeks, John, I think. 2 weeks, people you've been close to, and it's all done by Bluetooth, and you don't have to do anything, just have your phone on. And if one of those people you've been in contact with is tested positive, then you'll get a notification. Yeah.
And then you have to do what?
Yeah. But the other thing is that it's got a QR code reader, which means that if you do go to a pub or to a restaurant or to a coffee shop, you can scan the QR code without having to fill in a form. And if somebody tests positive who was at the coffee shop or pub or restaurant when you were there, then you'll get a notification.
So what happens though, when I do a Bluetooth search on here, you know how Bluetooth looks for devices, I can see my next door neighbour's devices in both directions.
Yeah.
So does that mean the app will pick up their phone and assume that I've been with them?
No, it's basically they've got to have the app too.
Ah, right. But if he's got the app and I've got the app and we're either side of our living room walls.
Here's the thing. I go into Costa too often. They've got a QR code if you're sitting in. If you're taking away, no problem. Now, if I got the app, I don't know if you go into some coffee shops, it takes a long time sometimes and you're standing there. By the time you get in the queue, you've been in there 15 minutes. Down the serve you.
Yeah.
And you go home and somebody says, ping, you were in the shop 14 days. 14 days are up. I said, I think I'll go and have another Costa. Remember, I sent the voucher. Just another part of the town that QR code, your app, your national app, ping. You were in the Costa at Cults time. Another 14 days for you. On you go now. Away with you. So, where do you stop?
You stop going to Costa.
I got another coffee shop, the same happens. Bing! Oh,
All right.
you thought you'd get away with it. You're on day 16, you got 2 days reprieve, but you visited the coffee shop further along the door. 14 days for you, sir.
Right.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Let's catch up with the comments, and we've got 46p.
That was the amount my big plot's going up by, and my little plot's going up by 31p.
And Roland's saying he's got his. He's just advertising the football club. You realise this guy. That's why he's commenting so much.
Love the
Proximity meter. Yeah, just catching up. And you can catch it whilst buying takeaway. You might have touched something with a virus on it as well.
Yeah,
that's why you've got to wash your hands every time you go in the house and every time you leave the house.
Yeah.
Tish loves coffee shops. And
I got a good review yesterday. A woman put it on. Went to visit, fast efficient, very COVID friendly. I thought it was great. Can I show you my latest gadget?
Okay, yeah. What's your latest gadget?
The most useless gadget I've bought yet. So what we've got here, folks, is you see it advertised. You have a look for your glasses and say, where's my glasses? Have no fear. The new item is here. You put it on your wrist. Okay? You take your glasses off now. Check that. Now they're pushing all the time. When you put them on your temples, oh yeah, you can read. But look at my temples. If you want a headache, buy these glasses. Bloody useless.
It does look like a short route to a headache.
This is usually where mine are when I can't find them.
Yeah, John, I'm going mad because I look from the gut. Guess what's coming just shortly? I've got a pair of glasses that automatically focus for you. Because I have a problem with us not getting the right distance, So there you go. Smart Peter. Yeah. Anyway, follow your local papers, guys. Get them up.
Yep. Just going over. I was ahead of you. I'm going over to. Let's go to the BBC News and share the screen. Come back. Bring it up on screen. Go full screen. Okay, so this is the BBC website, and the first thing is we were talking about our Chancellor, Mr. Sunak, who's today going to tell us what he's going to do about the jobs emergency, because government support stops in October, which would put tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people out of work. So he has to do something. If I go to the homepage, do you like to pick a story? We can go to any of them.
You just pick one. It's your page.
Right. Okay. Fine.
You were picking a good one there, and you moved.
All right. Okay. So as you can see, we've the BBC carries news about the UK and also about going around the world. And I'm trying to. You see the problem. This is the problem when I'm putting a list together for what we're going to talk about. It's very difficult to find anything at all which is positive. Yeah, well, and this is the latest news this morning. Okay, students are now at university, and our health secretary has refused to rule out keeping them there over Christmas. Students may not be able to return home at Christmas. The universities will stay open, and they will be locked down at the universities, unable to go home. Now, your thoughts, gentlemen?
Oh,
How do you police that, and how do you pay them? Because most students, they get a payment holiday if they're staying in student accommodation over Christmas.
Well, police. We've talked a lot about policing it, but that's basically, if the government decides that they've got to stay at uni, they've got to stay at uni. The fallout doesn't matter to the government. It's just the fact that they're seen to be preventing the spread of COVID. Peter?
But I don't have an answer for it unless they're all screened and then they're all put in buses and they're taken in handcuffs to their mum and dad's homes or whatever and put in and say, stay there.
If they're in Glasgow, they've got to stay in Glasgow. If they're in Edinburgh, they've got to stay in Edinburgh. If they're in Oxford, they've got to stay in Oxford. And if they're in Cambridge, they've got to stay in Cambridge.
Yeah.
Wherever you go to university, that's where your Christmas is. Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of days between now and Christmas, though, isn't there?
But our Prime Minister said that it's going to be like this for 6 months.
Which start saying?
Okay, I'm just trying to find a story. We'll not go to the US election, not go to coronavirus, go to the UK. Let's see if there's anything going on in the UK, which isn't.
I've got to say, I find the USA more entertaining than here at the moment.
Well, there's an election going on, isn't there? Right, okay, and there you are, Peter. Your Nicholas
from the UK COVID restrictions.
Yep. And as you said, I think I agree that we should have one national policy, because at the moment it's just so crazy.
Do you know what they're scared of? The government. They want to be seen as Mr. Nice Guy. But there's a war. And somebody put it in an article, just a little Facebook post. During the Second World War, for the Americans here, they used to have wardens that went about and say, turn off your lights, put up your blackout curtains, and if you didn't, I don't know what happened, I think you got a fine. Because if you didn't, the bombers could locate your city and drop bombs and kill people. So my case here, wear your masks, wash your hands, keep your distance, do what we tell you, and we'll get there. Otherwise, it'll be like not putting up your curtains and other people will die because of it. Maybe you too. Here endeth the lesson.
Yeah. Do you have a newspaper to share?
Well, John, actually, I do.
Right, okay, off you
go.
So
what do? I go to the
share, top left.
Screen share.
Yeah. Chrome.
Okay. Come back, all is forgiven. So the application window.
Chrome.
Tab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and it should appear in my staging area 54321. So I'm going to bring it on screen. Put it full screen. John, it's over to you.
But it's nothing there.
No, it disappeared. It was there, but it's disappeared. Can you try again, please?
Right. So I've got Chrome to the page I want. I go there. I go screen share.
Yes, please.
Mine just says screen,
and I cannot see the one I want because, of course, it's swapped back to the application window. Chrome tab.
Yes, please. Sometimes things get more complicated than they need to be. And you pick the tab, which has got a title on it, which is closed. Peter's already done this. He can just sit there and wait. But you got your Chrome tab, and then you pick the ones that got the right title on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is you okay?
Right. Screen share.
Yeah. Chrome tab.
Chrome tab.
Pick the
share,
tab. Ah, right. Okay.
and
And
it
I've got
shares
you there.
the tab.
This is what I'm seeing, and it's that's what I can see, John. I can see your desktop.
Yes, but I'm sharing the Chrome tab.
No, you're not.